Hello and welcome to another Zach Carnage video. So this time we're talking about building a destroyer-based army, or a destroyer wing, as I like to call it. So basically, this is looking at some of the ideas and tactics you can employ with a destroyer-based army. So first off, it's a themed list. So you're going to have to take a destroyer lord. I mean, like, if you want to do this properly, you're going to take a destroyer lord, you're going to take destroyers, you're going to take heavy destroyers. That's going to be the main thing that you build your army around. Now, so we're going to take this Destroyer Lord here. If you want, I suppose you could take another Overlord and make him your Warlord, because the point is, this guy is going to be rushing into combat. Chances are he's going to get killed. We're not putting race in this army, because all the fast attack choices are going to be going to destroyers and heavy destroyers. So this guy's not going to be with any extra race to protect him. It's going to be him, perhaps accompanying some warriors, or accompanying some mortals, and boosting them until he ends up in a position to actually do some damage. Now, I would stick him with the war scythe still, because I think Destroyer Lords are just great with a war scythe, no matter what you do. Obviously, to make him more survivable, you'll want a Sempiternal Weave, and you might opt for the Resurrection Orb. This is obviously going to increase the chance of surviving by 6th. I suppose this is good, but I suppose you could also always just surround him by 20 warriors, and then you pretty much settle on that. It will reduce his mobility, because he'll only be able to he'll only be moving with the warriors up the battlefield, but it does make him a lot more survivable. And this is the sort of tactics that a lot of people are using in 6th edition, where you stick your warlord with a huge squad of weaker troops, and then it's just a lot harder to take them out. And I think this is definitely the sort of tactic you want to go if you're going to take this army choice. So obviously, by having destroyers, we've filled up on the fast attack choices. So now you're going to have to start thinking about your heavy support, your elites, and your troops choices. Now, we still want to keep this themed, which means, obviously, troops, warriors and immortals will work with any army. If you want to go for boosted maneuverability, I suggest taking a Cryptek and sticking him with your troops choices, and then giving him, obviously going for the Veiled Darkness Cryptek, and then you can jump around the battlefield, and that will really help to confuse your opponent. Because with this army, we're trying to look for moving fast around the table, and really just irritating your opponent so they have no idea what your plan actually is. Now, you can do that with these guys because they're jump infantry. That's why we have to get these destroyers in, so that we've got fast-moving units that are going to confuse your opponent. Now, if we look to the elite's choice, this becomes a bit more difficult to think about, because we could, for fast choices, obviously you'd think you'd go Triarch Praetorians. Now, the problem with this is you then have an incredibly expensive army. We're looking in the 2,000 point area already. So that's going to take it to a much higher area, and perhaps, you know, if you're going to go that high in points, you'll probably just end up taking more, taking a second force organisation chart, just taking more destroyers. So there's not really much point in going for Praetorians in your elite's choice. Now, the standard to go for is Death Marks, because they're incredibly effective, but the problem is, I'm not sure if they quite fit this army's idea, because they're slow moving. Other than the deep strike, they're a slow moving unit. Now, they are a very effective unit, so you've got to decide whether you're going to stick with the theme or go with the more effective choices there. And that is the real problem where the elites choices are lacking in the Necron Codex, because they're all quite slow, really, other than Triarch Praetorians. And the problem with Triarch Praetorians is they die too fast, and they're not destroyers. So we're going to ignore elites for the rest of this, and look a bit at heavy support. Now, what do you want from your heavy support? Well, you want mobile firepower, and you want it to do a lot of damage. Now, the most mobile thing which you can get from heavy support would be a Doom Scythe. Now, I think this is probably a good option to go with your destroyers, because you'll be able to do a lot of damage very quickly, and it will really help with taking out enemy tanks. Obviously, you don't need that so much if you've got lots of heavy destroyers, but if you've just gone for normal destroyers, then it's probably a good idea to do that. You might go for a monolith, but I'm not sure if this would definitely fit with the old style. If you're just going for old style Necrons where you have lots of warriors and lots of destroyers, that'll fit. But if you're going for a purely destroyer based army, not so much, because it's slow moving. Obviously, it's still quite an interesting vehicle to work with. We're not going to take Canoptek spiders because we're not working with scarab farming. Doomsday Ark is an interesting choice because it's something that you could see going along with these. But the problem is, the chances are if you're using a Doomsday Ark, you're going to move it into position, sit it down, and never move it again. And that doesn't really fit with the tactics that we're working with. So all in all, I'd choose between the Annihilation Barge and the Doom Scythe for what you want. They're both very mobile, very potent power forces. Definitely good choices to go with this style of army. Now, I did say obviously you can choose what you want between Warriors and Immortals. But you have to think about what you're going to use them for. Warriors are probably best if you stick a large number of them with your Destroyer Lord to help protect him. Or if you want to hold an objective at the back of the table, sticking a lot of them on there, or marching up. Now, the problem is, obviously, you've got 4+ armor save, so you're going to be dying to a lot of weaker weapons than your Immortals will get. But obviously, that's all a matter of personal preference. I've always liked Warriors, but I prefer having lots of Warriors in a Warrior-based army. Whereas this is obviously the Destroyer-based army, so I think for this I would probably go with Immortals. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it's been of some use to you. Stay tuned, don't forget to leave a comment down below, and enter my subscriber contest. That's on my channel page, and I'll see you in the next video.